Britain gets the credit for the Industrial Revolution and the explosion of productivity. Industrialization later moved to the United States and continental Europe. The arbitrary time period was considered 1760 to 1840. Important steps happened before 1760, but by that date, machinery was rapidly replacing handcrafts. Britain was on the way to being the world's leading commercial nation. The Industrial Revolution was built after the Agricultural Revolution, which started in the 17th century when productivity meant an increase in the food supply. By 1700, food productivity in Britain doubled since 1500, and the rise in productivity continued. Fewer farmers were needed. In Britain, the farm population dropped from 74% in 1500 to 35% in 1800. France had about the same farm population percent in 1500, but it dropped to only 59% by 1800. An important step was improved crop rotation and the use of clover and legumes to replenish the nitrogen in the soil, then planting turnips in winter. Farmers used improved plows and other tools, increased enclosures, had better transportation, improved breeding of livestock, planted new world crops like corn and potatoes, and used larger farms for greater efficiency. It started with prized sheep wool. Wool textiles were manufactured from the Middle Ages. Industrialization, therefore, started with textiles, with spinning and weaving made more productive by small inventions, beginning with looms and spinning wheels. Improved technology happened in Britain given relatively high labor cost, rule of law, efficient financial markets, less royal interference, and a tradition of pragmatic tinkerers who could make a buck with the right gadget. It was a race between spinning and weaving for improved technology. The spinning jenny was hand-cranked, first built by James Hargreaves in 1767. Improvements allowed using 12 to 24 spindle jennies by 1780. Richard Arkwright built the water frame, a spinning machine using water power. Samuel Crompton's spinning mule combined the spinning jenny and water frame in 1769. Many cotton mills were built after the patent ended in 1783. Inventors focused on weaving created the foot treadle, flying shuttle, and heddle loom. The heddles raised and lowered warp threads, creating a shed to pass the weft threads through. John Kay's 1733 flying shuttle allowed the operator to stay seated and pull the weft threads back and forth. Mechanical looms increased the speed. Arkwright wanted to create a cotton mill industry. He produced carding machines to comb the raw cotton. A factory required a bank of machines running efficiently for continuous workflow, meaning management skills. His factory combined mechanized carding and spinning operations, power, initially by horse, and semi-skilled workers. His factories operated continuously using two 13-hour shifts, often with children. He was the first to use a steam engine in the 1770s. The mechanization of weaving started with the power loom, first designed and patented by Edward Cartwright in 1785, using water power. It took almost a half century before the operation was fully automated. The Lancaster loom designed in 1834. There were dozens of small inventions to incrementally improve operations. Thomas Johnson had a 200 loom factory in Manchester by 1806, with a few factories elsewhere. Weavers were employed to handle various operations done by hand and general maintenance when a specific loom failed. Manchester had the infrastructure for manufacturing, including export facilities with rivers and canals. There were about 250,000 power looms in England by 1850, many operated by steam engines. The French favored industrialization, but politics and banking were uncertain, especially after the French Revolution and Napoleonic Wars. There was no lack of entrepreneurial firepower, but textiles and other industries remained small scale. The major French textile innovation was invented by Joseph Marie Jacquard around 1804. The Jacquard loom used a chain of punch cards to simplify the process of making complex patterns. The cards were later used with computers. Jacquard looms were used in Britain at least by the 1820s. The Industrial Revolution meant the steam engine, a power source for the next century and beyond. Next time on Food History and Mystery.